sounds so bad. Oh. We've all been there, haven't we? You've been excited about your brand new mix. You've showed your best friend on your phone, and they've just gone, what is that? It sounds terrible. And there's actually some good reasons why it sounds bad on phones. And yeah, I'm going to explain how you can fix that. So if you're new here, click like and subscribe, and let's get to the video. Okay, so the first tip is to make sure you have a good mix. You don't want the high end to be boosted loads. You don't want the low end to be boosted loads. You also want to make sure you control those harsh frequencies around the 2K mark. Do all of that in the mixing stage, not the mastering stage. Make sure your mix is perfectly EQ'd. Tip number 2 is to always try and get your mix to a true peak of below -1. It's quite confusing at first, and I'll admit I didn't have a clue what it meant either, but true peak is different to normal peak. So basically all of the limiters and stuff that come with Cubase, they all use normal limiting. It basically doesn't account for any artifacts that are involved in the creation of electronic digital music. Once it's mixed down, you get these artifacts such as like distortion and things like that. So if you mix your song to 0 dB, which is like the old-fashioned way of mastering a song, if you master to 0 dB, you're then going to get certain artifacts above that, which can go up to like 2 decibels. The streaming services now, they ask you to master a song to around -2 or -1 true peak. And the way to achieve this is use a true peak limiter. The one that I like to use is a free plugin. It's called LoudMax 64. And it basically lets you set the true peak so it can't go above that. And honestly, this is like the biggest tip I can give you for getting your mix to sound good on phones, because it just stops all of that distortion. And the last tip is to check your mix in mono, because phone speakers are pretty much a mono signal source. So when you're listening to music and it's like right there, you can see there's a narrow gap between it might be stereo speakers, but there's a narrow gap between them. So you're pretty much going to hear it in mono. So you want to make sure your mix sounds good in mono. And I'm going to flick over to Cubase right now. And the way I do it is on the control room in the mixer. You can open this window by pressing F3 on your keyboard. That's on PCs. I'm not sure what it is on Macs, but if you look on the control room here, you can see this mix section, and there's a stereo mono switch. So always keep flicking to this and make sure your song translates well into mono. Something to note with that mono is your mix might actually sound amazing in stereo. It might sound really good, but as soon as you flick it to mono, things just get lost. I was working on a song a few days ago where it sounded really good in stereo, and as soon as I tried listening on my phone or switching to mono, the synth in it just disappeared. And that was basically because I was using a mid-side EQ on the synth, and I was just losing all of the mid signal. It was just pushing out the high-end sides, and it didn't translate at all to phones. So you want to make sure that everything sounds good in mono. So that's my 3 tips to getting a song to sound good on phone speakers. Let me know if this has helped in any way, and yeah, leave some comments or click the like button, and I'll see you next time. Click subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching. Bye. Where's the off button?